Pesantren MIBS Kebumen, Sewindu, semakin maju. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is ZALFA, KHOERUNNISA, Risa and Amitri. And this is how to be positive and optimism even in the desperate condition. Let me start with a story that happened in century ago. Women who lived at the time were so unlucky because they facing top 3 worst incident in human history. In 1914, the second biggest war in history started by the name of the Great War or the First World War began. 4 years later, in 1918, when the Great War almost done, the pandemic started by the name of Spanish flu, then it became the worst illness in 20th century. Later on, in 1939, the biggest war in human history began. Due to that incident, hundreds of millions of people living in this world and suffered billions of humans from the entire world. 2 years has passed since the first case was identified in Wuhan, China. Millions of people already passed away. Another 100 million people got suffered of this disease. This caused a mass panic, hunger, and even hit the global economy. Otherwise, this horrible pandemic helping humans to save the world from the climate change. According to researchers in MIT Joint Program on the Science and Policy of Global Change, said that COVID-19 helped reducing the climate change significantly since 2019. The activity turned into fairly limited. Tarawih prayer and Eid restricted to be held at mosque. According to epidemiology expert of Griffith University, di Kebumen, when Ramadan comes, the risk of COVID-19 gonna be higher and more dangerous. Even though the holy month of Ramadan is marked by social and religious gatherings, where Muslim families and friends unite to break their fast together after sunset during iftar or before dawn during sahur. Many Muslims increase their attendance at mosques during the month and congregate for a longer prayer for Tarawih and Qiyam. Some Muslims also spend consecutive days and nights at mosques during the last 10 days of Ramadan, iktikaf for prayers. These traditional and religious practices are regularly observed throughout the month. This year, Ramadan falls between late April and late May as the COVID-19 pandemic continues. The ambassador of Indonesia to Romania, Muhammad Amzar Azad, says that a lot of mosques were closed. Hence, the Muslims won't help the activity in the mosques. So, it can reduce the spreading of COVID-19, especially when Ramadan comes. Ramadan is the most crucial moment for the Muslim and for the whole year. So, this is really important to take care about this problem. Quran Surah Al-Ahqaf, verse 35. Fasbir kama sabara ulul asmi minar rasuli wala tastaqjilahu. Ka'annahum yawma yarawna ma yu'aduna lam yalbasu illa sa'attam min nahar. Bala fahal yuhlaku illa qaumul fasikun. Which means that, therefore, patiently persevere, as did all the messenger of inflexible purpose. And be in no haste about the unbelievers. On the day that they see the punishment promised them, it will be as if they had not tarried more than an hour in a single day. Time but to proclaim the message, but shall any be destroyed except those who transgress. The surah taught us to be patient wherever we're facing us, even though this pandemic giving us a negative impact, but we cannot judge it. Because Allah knew anything, including which one is better for His follower. Be patient is key for all the problem, from a simple problem until the bigger one, from the daily life to foreign diplomatic relationship. Ramadan is the holiest month in Islam. For me and most Muslims in entire world, this month full of a harmful memories. When I was a child and just tried my first fasting in my life, I broke it in afternoon because I felt has reached the limits, like, I'm so hungry and gonna die, help me mom. In another opportunity, I finished my fasting without any sahur. It was really hard and I never have this experience. That moment even harder than my first fasting. But I said in my heart, I have passed many times just to eat as usual. Then when I finish it, I shout, hip hip yay, and I feel just conquering the entire world. For the last 2 Ramadan, we cannot help this holy month as usual. So COVID-19 is the main problem from the disaster. Not only Ramadan that got the impact of its pandemic, but also another crucial aspect such as economy and human activity. To end the disaster, some countries such as China, USA, England, and much more trying to make vaccines that can reduce the risk from the infection. Me, as young generation and student, also trying to end the disaster. Instead, making an advantage vaccine, I pursue people to implement the health and safety protocol such as washing hands oftenly, wearing masks when hang out, and social distancing. But I think we need more than it. That is spirit. This kind of magic. We cannot touch it, but we can feel it. When they giving us a courage. Actually, we can pass any test from Allah. But we need more on action. To realize it, to be positive and optimism is a key of it. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.